We're vibing today. Vibing.
Oh.
What are we going to talk about today is vibe coding. Have you heard of it? Do you know what it is? Do you think like people talk about it and you're like, and you just pretend like you know?
It's funny hearing you say vibe in general, in any context.
It's funny that I say vibe. I have vibe. I have good vibes.
What is vibes to you?
What is vibes to me? Oh, okay. We're doing this live. Okay. Vibes are, just, I don't know, how you're chilling, how you're feeling, how you're rolling at the moment.
Oh.
Is that not how you would describe it?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
General vibe coding.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about vibe coding in terms of AI. And so this is going to be a very basic explanation. Whether you're on the podcast or watching the video, we're just going to go through what it is, how we've used it, and some examples on ways that we think that you can use it, and some like hints of things that you should do and to watch out for, and what we've learned from our own mistakes. So here we go. Okay, so why is it called vibe coding? Am I missing something? Because people say it, and I'm like, I actually don't know.
Like when you're coding, you need to write all this code and you have to have all this knowledge. But vibe coding, you can tell an app a general vibe of what you want it to look like. The vibe of the app.
My goodness.
Is that what it means? That now? Oh my gosh.
Well, I was going to ask you before we pushed record. But I decided to be like, I just want, it's relatable.
So basically,
not everybody knows.
All you have to do, we've only really used the app Replit. Did you just say that?
No, I haven't said what we've used.
The app Replit, there's a lot of them. There's Lovable, there's one that starts with a C. You know what? I forgot them. But we've used Replit.
It's okay.
I think it's one of the best. It always changes, obviously, and there's always new ones. But all you do, it's like a chat. You type in, I want to make an app for blah, blah, blah. I want it to look like this. You can give it examples of what you want it to look like. Like if you want it to look like the Apple website screenshot, put it in there. You can be like, these are the features I want. Enter, it'll start coding it all.
Yeah, and you can watch it coded. It's like shows you. Okay, so before we dive into like exactly what we created with Replit, why don't we just define vibe coding? So vibe coding, like you said, is just talking to the AI and describing it, right? Exactly what you're looking for. So I always find it easier when I'm using AI to use my voice as opposed to typing it all out, right? So we tested it a couple weeks ago, and we are excited to share the results that we've had with that. Mm-hmm. Now, I've heard, and so you have to understand what we've talked about in other videos and podcasts is that AI is changing daily. Okay, so as we're recording this and we've tried Replit and there's other ones, there's always another one or there's another version of it that's already going to be easier. Okay, so we're just like on this journey with you guys. We're on the journey of learning AI and using it consistently to make our lives simpler and easier and our businesses to be automated. Okay, so that's the goal. So basically, the vibing is just you talk to it and tell it, right? Okay.
Yes.
Am I repeating myself?
No, it's just funny, like the vibing.
I know, it kind of hit me, but like the way that you described it was really good because I hadn't really wrapped my head around it because people were like, oh, are you trying vibe coding? And I was like, didn't even realize that that's what Replit was initially. So this is what we did. So I have a small business and our goal, like every week when we sit down, like, how can we AI automate this? How can we use AI to make this better? AI is not to the point, and just in case you haven't watched any of the other things, it's not to the point where you can do everything, okay? Like you need to be a part of it. It's basically your assistant. It's your helper in whatever you're doing. And so basically we used Replit. I have been wanting to create an app for a situation in my business that's coming up with a group of people that are very exclusive and I want a very specific thing. So I had already researched apps and had looked at what they could do and what they couldn't do. And I haven't actually found one that could do everything that I wanted it to do. So I was very excited about trying this. So I, in my mind, knew exactly what I was trying to create. So I did. And I spent probably multiple days working on this and creating an actual app. And it actually was pretty good, the app for this situation. But you have to understand that what I was looking for this app to do was quite complicated. My husband would say, what you're asking it to do is like one of the most complicated apps, you know? And so, because if AI is here to help me code everything, why wouldn't I go for like the most amazing app, right? Because the problem with a lot of the apps, like they'll have like the course apps where you can watch a course and get some messages, a little bit of messaging, but they're not a message app. Like no app kind of does all of them really well. So like you still have to talk to people on WhatsApp, or you still need to communicate via email separately. I wanted everything to be done in the app. So that's what I try to do. So the app looks pretty good right now. It actually looks pretty good. I can't get it to do exactly what I want all the time. So basically, let me just run down with you what it looks like. So I literally tell it everything I know that I'm thinking, and it creates it. And then it's like, then when it shows it to you, it shows you a sample, you see, oh yeah, I needed to be more clear about that, right? So I went in and said, no, this, I want this, and I want that, and I don't like this, and it should say this. And the concept that you want in your head, but like you have to kind of play with it to see the flow. Does this work? Let's move this over here. So literally I spent a couple days and just like, let's try to get this together. And it's pretty good. It's not functional. And then I realized that because of the complication of this app, that you can't really just put that on the App Store. It's quite like
not even close.
Yeah, there's like an application, there's like a whole process, but also it's not, as IT people or people that are programmers would say, it's not like application ready. It's not like production ready, not ready for people to use. And so I didn't know that. So like you have to understand, like this is us coming in with no idea about coding, no IT background, and I've created something decent. But AI right now is to the point where you can create it and you could like give them a replica of it, and then you would need to hire somebody to kind of do production ready.
So I think Replit is really good more at like computer software over mobile apps.
Oh,
so
I
that
think
might
you're right.
make it even
That
harder.
Might, yes.
It is possible, but yeah, you can get like the front end really good, but then you really need to hire someone for making it, App Store ready, I guess, but also the security behind it and the payment behind it. You can't really code that in just with AI yet. Like it's probably coming really soon, but
yeah,
that part is really important because you could just get fully hacked and like all of that stuff.
Yeah, all these things I wasn't thinking about. I just wanted to create a cool app. And it was just going to be for like certain people that sign up that I would give access to. I wouldn't even need this to be on the App Store. So that's what I'm thinking the whole time. But then it was like, well, how do I get them to have it on their phone if it's not? Anyway, so I run into all of these things. But really, like, we could just hire somebody on Fiverr and just be like, can you finish this?
So the question is like, oh, I don't want to spend all this money on a coder. But if you were to do that before, like without even doing this AI part, you're just giving them a concept. They might not do it right. There's going to be a whole lot of changes.
Months. We're talking months.
Really
we're talking
expensive, all this
thousands of dollars.
If you hand them over what it looks like exactly, all of the functions that you want, but it's just not really functional yet, that is going to be an extremely quick job and way less money, like fractions.
Way less, because it's $25 to use Replit for a month. And we use, like you get, I don't know, credits or whatever they called it. And we used all of them for the month building, well, not just this app, but then the other. So once I dove into this, I realized, okay, maybe we're not to the vibe coding to the point where like I'm trying to create something massive. Let me just be more simple. So one thing that I've been wanting to do on my website is to create like a form to collect leads, basically, where they answer questions, like whether it's like a quiz. I've been wanting to do the quiz, and I've done some of the quizzes, and I don't like that feel really to it. I wanted, something to be programmed, but because I'm a small business, I don't have my own IT department. I don't have my own programmers to be like, yeah, we're just going to create this form, and then it's going to link to this, and it's going to go to this funnel, and, So, but it's pretty easy. It's just a list of about 20 questions that someone goes through, and I told Replit, so I created this. That was actually very easy because I knew what questions I wanted. So I just submitted it to Replit and they're like, okay, we created it. And they made the front really good. They actually made the landing page at the end very good without much of me telling it. And then where to send them. Okay, so if you've passed the quiz basically, and we think that you are good to go, then go to this free, webinar that I had. And if they get a no, if they're not a good candidate for my business, then it sends them to something else, very nice, but like somewhere else. So that I'm getting actually qualified leads, guys. And so I did this. I don't know, how long do you think this took maybe
a day or two, I feel.
maybe not
3,
even.
a
Maybe like
weekend.
half a day. I would say half a day.
Half a day? Oh,
to
wow.
create it. And then I put it out there and I went through and tested it as if I'm all different people, right? So seeing how the answers to me. And so I put it out there and realized that some of the answers weren't coming correct. So you really got to do the full testing like a programmer would do, right? They would do the full testing. So like if you answer this, no, and then this one, yes. And what does it look like? So I did, okay, well, if I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't say I did the full testing. I did a lot of testing.
Oh, that's why we're getting so many qualified leads.
So maybe that's why we're getting qualified leads. But I didn't think it was going to work so well. I mean, it's fine because I'm basically I'm collecting their information. These people are interested, and then I follow up. And what's cool about it is that based on their answers, I can follow up with emails that are very relevant to them as opposed to generic emails. Like I sent some to people in this profession and the way that I would talk about it was different. And so it was really great. And so how long have I had this? About 2 weeks?
Yeah,
I would say 2 weeks.
It's taken a little bit of like fixing because we are also using another site, make.com, to use a automation to send emails. So like you got to get an API thing that sends to Make and then set up the automation. That was an extra few days to set that up. I'm like wondering if Replit could have done all that.
Yeah, see, we're new.
But I don't know.
We're just diving in and do it.
We're
not
wanted
waiting.
to be a little bit more manual so we could make sure they were being sent and stuff. But that took a little bit more, but that's super easy to learn. I learned it in a day. Yeah. But what were you just asking me?
Yeah. So I just was asking like how long it took. Like was it 2 weeks? I think we've had it around for about 2 weeks now.
It's been working. It
been
started working after 2 days of doing it.
Immediately.
And there's just been some changes that we've just done to make it really
right.
good.
And what's really cool is and so like just because we've used it, so like I've launched it. So my fear was like once I launch it, like I can't change it. So I really try to make it great before I launched it, but really any change I want to make, I just click relaunch and it relaunches it with the update. So anytime I think, let me add this question, and I've been able to do that, and it just relaunches. And so then any leads that are collected after that obviously see that. So I was like, oh my gosh. So drum roll, to today, we've had 400 leads. I checked it last night. I thought, wow.
500.
Is it 500? Yeah. Oh my God. 500 leads. Okay, so let me give you some real numbers. So on a good lead day would be like 10. So 500 leads.
Yesterday you mean in general?
And before I used before I had this forum on my website, because this is like what my competitors all have, and this is why I wanted to have it, and I just never got to it and didn't realize it would be such a huge deal for me. Right.
Well, you also have an ad now. Of ads now. Yesterday there were about 30.
That's true. There was 30 yesterday?
Yes, at least when I checked.
Yeah, so I have a Google ad now, so when people are searching for specifically what I do, then then it's obvious. So then it comes up. So, but it's just very interesting. Like I have so many freebies on my website, so many great services, and nobody clicks on those, but they clicked on this.
It's so easy and quick.
Because it's easy and quick, and also like it seems to be the mode in the industry, which, like I said, my competitors had it, so I wanted it, and so this is where all this happened. And so I can't believe I could not. I created something so quickly, and now it could be just like. I mean, I wouldn't say that I've gotten a lot of new customers, but I think that they're coming because they're all kind of sitting in my email flow right now, and and we've been talking, and it's been just really good. Like to just double, triple your leads like that means huge for your business. Yeah. And if I'm not converting, then it's not the lead problem. It's my landing page or something else. You know what I mean? So it's just really great. So Replit, like you guys, so it's just like go try it. Like we don't try to like think about things too much before we do it. We just dive in. We're just like, this cool AI is going to help us do this. Let's try it.
Yeah, all you really need is just have an idea. Like you just have to have the idea and the vision and the creativity for it.
Yeah, so if there's something, so what I would say is, I think you made a good point, like, let's not go mobile. So if there's something that you could add to your website that you think would be helpful, I think that that's where the AI is at right now, because I'm let's have it work. Let's not just like play around with something. You know what I mean? So if you want to create a form, if you want to create a quiz, if you want to create some sort of like financial calculation, let's say you're like, see what the mortgage would be, you know what I mean? And you could just like add that little calculator to your website and see, like Replit could create that. You know what I mean? Depending on what your industry. So go ahead and comment below like what industry you're in, and we can help you try to come up with ways to talk about it. But like $25 to create it.
And free for a little bit as
And
well.
honestly, like pretty user friendly. Like I found it to be pretty good.
You chat to it in normal language, the changes you want to make, everything.
I can't be bothered with figuring out and saying it right. But it just becomes very clear that like you don't need to be a coder, but it isn't that having a background in IT and coding does help. Because like I'm coming from like I have no idea. I just want you to make me this.
But you still did it.
But I still did it.
So
that's true.
I don't know.
At a basic level at this point. And, and we're talking about literally like no time before this can just like create things. So let's just think about what this means for you. So whether you have a business, I think it's very easy to come up with something that would be helpful, even just like from a customer service standpoint. Like if you want to, something for your customers to fill out, even surveys. Like there's just so many ways if you have a business. But if you don't have a business, what are some ways that you think that we could use Replit, that people could use to kind of dive into the AI world?
I mean, there are infinite ideas. Like if there's a problem that you have in your life, like pinpoint that problem and create a software to solve it. Like there are so many, and there's all these people doing that exact thing and then making millions of dollars.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
It's crazy.
If you find a problem and create a software to solve it, like that's what's going to be happening soon.
Yeah.
So many people are going to be doing that, solving all these problems, making all this money. So get on that.
Well, what I think would be great is if what we can do now is we can solve problems for multiple people. So like, let's say you wanted to solve a problem and you wanted to create a Google Doc and sell it as like a digital product. But if you implement something with Replit that's more of a form-based and based on the answers, it helps them make this decision or put, you can put that out to multiple people and it can be very customizable products. So like if you say you're in travel, if you're a travel agent or somebody that works at a hotel or something, you could customize things for your customers right on your website, which could bring an enormous amount of value and distinguish you from the competitors. Do you know what I mean? There's just so many ways that you could use it. And I just think that yes, go with the apps because the cost at the end of the day is significantly cheaper. Or even if you what if like you sold a document that had this built into it? Like you could, even on Canva, you can have like a website. You can just build a website on Canva that then has something built into it that's helpful, whether it's a calculator or, figuring out, let's say you're a student, you want to figure out how long it's going to take you to pay off your student loan. And then like you could sell that. Like you could just put that on the internet. That's the link. And then you could just like sell that. I mean, there's so many things.
I mean, I think you're just talking about like an addition to what already exists on a website, like just like a little thing on the website, but you could build the whole website on there. It could code the whole thing.
Correct.
From
I was
scratch.
just talking about a web page, but like what I'm saying is like you don't have to have a domain and have a server or anything. Like you could literally just get a page. I'm just thinking if you don't have anything and you have this idea of something that you could use a little bit of programming to make it like this cool customizable thing that you could sell, then you just would need one page of a website and just sell that, because people just want.
There's so many ideas. I feel like you guys have the ideas.
Yeah, you probably have the idea. So let us know if you've tried in the comments. Let us know if you've tried Vibe Coding. Let us know like what software you've used, if you've used Replit or if you've used another one. We're not going to pretend to try to keep up with everything. We are on to AI. We are on to new softwares. I was just talking to Lexi about all the software that we added in May and how much, and
we're double digits.
And double digits. And we're trying to add it. We're trying to use it, but we're using it with like what's applicable to our business, but like the AI is just kind of growth in it so fast. So this is why we're trying to create a community of people that can share what they've done in their industry, and they're just going to be better than us, but we are onto it though. We are trying the newest and the latest and the greatest. Okay. So below you can see to join our community if you want to join our community, or just talk about like, it's free to join. We're just going to have a community of people that can just share information, because we're finding this is like, it's a lot. It's exhausting.
It's helpful when other people know things and can share them. And,
right. And like realistic situations and what they did. Like, I'm done with these like YouTube videos and these people like this complicated. This is why when we decided to create this video, I was like, well, I could show them and pull it up and show them what we did. And then I just feel like that's overwhelming. and like you get like, ugh, you know. What I'm saying is go onto Replit and just talk to it. Tell it what you want and see if it comes out with something good.
You can try it for free.
You can try it for free. Just go in and try it. And Replit's not paying us. This isn't a
Not
sponsor.
yet.
Not yet, Replit. But you could. Because we do like it. And that's the thing is I'm not gonna sell you anything that I don't actually use or actually like. So but yeah, so I hope that was helpful. If you have questions, if you're using it, please comment below. We would love to know. We're trying to grow and learn with you. All right. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. No, wait. Pause for the
thing.
Thumbnail.
What
should we do?
I don't know.
Make a face. And then you gotta cut this out.
Okay.